welcome back to That Dad Guy. It's August 22nd, 2022. And for those of you who are really observant and have watched me in this scene in the past, you will have noticed that this curtain wasn't there for the longest time. The rack curtain rods fell down and it took me a while to get it back up again. Well, it's finally back up again. So it's all even in the back. We even contemplated whether or not we should just take that one down and make them even by not having those little curtain toppers at all. But yeah, they're back. So for those of you who have been noticing it, it's fixed. All right, so today I want to show you what Eric in Toronto sent me in this parcel. We talked about it on Friday that it had arrived and deserved a video unto itself. So he went and got postcards and sent postcards. So let me show you what postcards he sent. We have this one, the Moose Mail, the quickest way to send the ones you love, a tiny moose. And you can see it's kind of a card, but you could cut it out and put your moose together. So that's one. For those of you who enjoy cities, this is Toronto in a nice black and white artistic shot. I've been there, done that, Toronto. So all the different things that you may want to see while you're in Toronto, whether it's the Hockey Hall of Fame, maybe being on a streetcar, the CN Tower, City Hall. Yeah, there's all sorts of cool architecture, lots of things to do in Toronto. Toronto, if you didn't know, is the biggest city in Canada. Let me just adjust this a little bit this way here. So yeah, so lots of things to do. Here we have one of our Royal Canadian Mounted Police. Another one of Toronto. It's the architecture of the old and the new, it says on the back here, because you can see some of the older architecture with the skyscrapers behind it. The famous CN Tower. And there's Rogers Centre, which we used to call the Sky Dome. That's where the Toronto Blue Jays play. And they have concerts and all sorts of stuff. That is actually a really cool part of downtown. So if you're in that area, the CN Tower, you've got the ball field there. You've also got the aquarium that's there, which is really cool. How about a Toronto, Ontario picture card showing architecture and one of the streetcars. St. Lawrence Market. So Eric has gone all out and found the best of the best for postcards, I think, here. Showing all sorts of different things. We've just got a Canadian flag. Not in Toronto, but one of the things that people see when they get close to the Toronto area, they drive down a little bit further and they go to Niagara Falls. This is Horseshoe Falls, the Canadian side of Niagara Falls, because Niagara Falls is divided between Ontario and New York State. And so there's a US side and a Canadian side. And here we got more of an aerial view of downtown Toronto. Yeah. Rogers Centre there with the CN Tower. We're going to see a few of those type images because that is when I think of Toronto, that's the skyline that people think of. But for those of you who like bears, we have a bear from Canada here too. It's a grizzly bear. This is kind of a different, interesting view shot of the skyline in the distance. But you can see the cars going by there at night. A couple bear cubs, that's pretty cute. It's nice to have some more bear postcards because a lot of people like bear and moose and things like that. When they think of Canada, those are the animals they tend to think of. But when you think of Canada, you also think of hockey. So this is a cool card to have. A couple kids playing pond hockey. And did you know sea lion? So I've had did you know lighthouses and did you know moose. I haven't had one of these yet, Eric, so that's a good one to have. This is also a good one to have because lots of people like the dress uniform of the RCMP with the Rocky Mountains there in the background. That's kind of a nice Canadian image. Here we have a native chief in the Rockies as well, on his horse, everything all decked out. There's one specific of the Rogers Centre, where we seem to have, might be a baseball game going on in the background. It's not a concert, but there's all sorts of events that take place there with the retractable roof, which is nice. especially if you're going to get rain or anything happening, you can pull it back. And there's CN Tower at night, so all those people that are going to enjoy that. Here's a great card. I'm glad to have this one. Here's the Hockey Hall of Fame card. So for all of those people that enjoy sports or hockey, this will be perfect for them. And the province of Ontario also has tons of Great Lakes. So, well, has the Great Lakes, but it also has lakes all over the province. And there's an autumn scene. Another shot of Niagara Falls. Nobody going over it in a barrel today, hopefully. There's a Toronto picture card, a bit of Chinatown down there as well. Another cool, did you know, that I have never seen before. So this is Did You Know White-tailed Deer. Another version of, well, another pond hockey one. This may be the exact same card as before, which is good. I don't mind having duplicates because that means that I can have more options. When the first one's gone, I still have something else. Now, I talked about the aquarium. The aquarium is something that's relatively new within the last, I don't know, 5 years or so. We've been up once to it, and it's really, really, really well done. There's the Royal York Hotel in Toronto. Did you know bighorned sheep? Yeah, bighorn sheep. Another nice shot of Toronto and one of Toronto's castles. I don't think of castles in Canada, but there are some mansion-esque buildings that are castle-like. Niagara Falls. Toronto. Kind of working your way in until you get to the lake. Some other views of Toronto here. You guys seen a favorite yet? I've gone through and seen a favorite, and they're still to come. So if you're happy with what you've seen already, you may be even more excited with what is finishing up or what's coming later. I don't know how many different shops Eric had to go to find all these. I'm sure that, well, maybe there is just a postcard shop and he could go in and just buy a whole bunch at one spot. But if he didn't, he probably had to travel all over the place to get these. Now, there are a lot more tourists that go to Toronto than will end up in Moncton. So with a population of multiple millions in Toronto versus 150,000 here, he's got a lot more options. All right, we're getting into some unusual ones now. Can you see this? Canadian flag, Toronto. We have, I think these are cool. Toronto, the city of light. So they're during the day and at night. These are by far my favorites because they're so cool. Now, you've got the images there. They are very, very slick on the back. So I'm hoping stamps will adhere to that, and it's going to take a special kind of pen or marker, maybe a Sharpie, in order to write on those without them smudging all over the place a while. Or these are going to end up in an envelope. We will see. The CN Tower, as you may know, used to be the tallest tower in the world. It has now since been surpassed by things like the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, and there's been some in China that have been built now too. And so I think it's more like number 4 or 5 on the list now. But when it was built, it was a real marvel, and it's still a testament to the city and the engineers that put it together. And when people see this image, they certainly think of Canada, and it's a image of Toronto for sure. So those are all the cards that Eric sent. So I want to say thank you so much to Eric for sending that. That means there's going to be a whole lot more things that I can send out to other people. It also is a variety more of cards that I have to pick from, especially when people ask about hockey. I don't have a lot of hockey cards, even though we're in Canada. There's not a lot of postcards in this area, at least, that depict hockey on it. So I'm glad to have those as something I can now send out. And for people like city skylines, I get that a lot. I've got lots of those now to go as well. So when you're looking out there and you say, hey, I'd like to swap for this or that card, now you can contact me and let me know, and we can do a swap. So that'll be great. All right, so it is Monday, and we're getting closer and closer to the move. If you've been watching, we're heading up to my daughter to drop her off to university and have a little bit of a family trip. That is coming up in 2 days. So yeah, there's going to be some different videos, I think, as a result of that. Hopefully the weather cooperates with us so we can get some interesting shots and interesting places along the way that you guys can visit as well. That's the plan anyways. And then in the meantime, I'm going to get things ready here, and I still have some postcards from yesterday that have to be completed, so that's going to happen today too. I want to get all those loose ends all tidied up so we can get ready to go. And you guys can stay tuned and have a magical week.
What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?